Welcome to New York City, guys, and to this ultimate bookish video where we will go to the world's biggest bookstore, hold some books, read while doing some sightseeing, and even visit a couple of little free libraries. Enjoy! Hi guys, how are you all doing? I hope that everybody is fine. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Zsuzsi. Thank you so much for being here. Well, finally I can sit down and check in with you guys, because yesterday was a little bit chaotic, a little bit hectic, and I was really tired yesterday. Like, it's a good tired, but still tired. As you can already tell, based on my intro and based on the background, I am not in Boston today. I am in New York City! I sound like a first timer. This is not my first visit to New York City, but every time I come here, you know, I become that emoji with the huge hearts for the eyes. That is how I feel about New York City. I always welcome to travel here. At this time I am here for business. I have 2 appointments that I need to take care of. Unfortunately, I am not solely here for leisure and pleasure. That's okay. I will have a little bit of downtime, and I am planning to fill that downtime with a lot of bookish things. Speaking of bookish things, let me give you a little bit of an update, a little bit of a reading check-in about the books that I am reading. I mean, one of them I already finished, and then there is another one that I am reading while I am in New York City and probably on my way home, because the train ride between Boston and New York, it's pretty substantial. The first book that I selected is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I have the physical copy somewhere. I just don't know right now where it is, probably still in my bag. Anyways, so I started reading this book, and I think I'm about like 70 pages into the book, but probably you saw the footage that there was a guy on the train who unfortunately like snored so loud that I just couldn't really focus on reading the book, so I changed to the audiobook that I am also going to talk about in just a second. But I started out with One for My Enemy, and the thing is that I don't really have a good track record with Olivia Blake. I did not like Atlas 6. I still have not fully processed that, because you guys know that I'm a completionist, and when I start a series I feel like I need to finish the series, but I really don't want to, because I really didn't like Atlas 6. So that's one thing. And also, what was the other book? Alone with You in the Ether, I think. And again, I just completely failed to see the beauty in that book. But One for My Enemy, when I read the synopsis, I was like, I need to read this book, and I need to read this book now, because it's October. I am in New York City, and this book takes place in New York City, and it's all about witches. So I was like, are you kidding me? This is the time to read this book. And this book is basically her take on Romeo and Juliet. This is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet taking place in modern day Manhattan. We have 2 families. One of them is the Fedorov brothers, or the Fedorov family, and their patriarch is Koschei the Deathless, and they are running kind of like a furniture store. And then we have the other family, the Antonova sisters, Antonova or Antonova, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, I'm not gonna lie. And their matriarch is Baba Yaga, and she is running an apothecary. And surprise, surprise, these 2 families are basically witches. Now, you probably noticed that these are Russian names, and Koschei the Deathless, he is a pretty important figure in Russian mythology, and this book was obviously very heavily influenced by Russian folklore. Since I've only read 70 pages, I don't really have much to say, other than for now I can follow Olivia Blake's writing. I think that out of the 3 books that I read from her, this is by far the best. The only thing that I'm missing a little bit is the magic system, that I don't really understand the witch element to the book just yet. I don't think that it's very developed. So this is the first book that I'm reading, and I am planning to finish this book. I don't really see myself DNFing this book. Maybe I won't finish it while I am in New York City, but probably on my way home, because I have a good like 4 or 5 hours long train ride back to Boston, and I have nothing else to do but to read. So I have high hopes when it comes to this book. Now the second book, which was an audiobook that I actually already finished, it's Youth Juice, and I don't remember from the top of my head the name of the author, because this was a debut published in the summer. Now the main character in this book is Sophia, and Sophia starts working in this incredibly luxurious wellness spa that is located in Soho. Oh, by the way, guys, I chose to read this book because these take place in New York City. I forgot to tell you that in the intro. And Sophia becomes addicted, like quite literally addicted, to this new moisturizer that Hebe is testing out called Youth Juice. It's super special because when you use it over time and you put it on your skin, it can even heal old wounds. So yeah, she becomes obsessed with it because she is somebody who has wounds. And when I tell you guys that this book got unhinged and Sophia's character got unhinged, I am not lying. I'm not lying. I think that this book was a very solid debut, and in general I enjoyed the commentary on the beauty industry. What I missed from the book is the character work. Like, I think that this book should have been 100 pages longer, and the author should have put a little bit more effort into the characters, because when it comes to the plot, it's something that you can figure out like kind of like midway in the book. I personally felt that it was pretty clear, that the direction of the plot was pretty clear, but I didn't feel that the author was trying to hide it, because it was all about the characters. And then that's where I felt that, okay, a little bit of more character work, character development, or just understanding a little bit more about the characters, that would have been great. Overall, I enjoyed it. I loved the commentary in this book. I wouldn't call it a horror. Again, I feel that it's a little bit of a stretch. If you don't like to read horror, but you like to read about unhinged female characters, then probably it's a book that I would recommend to you. Alright guys, now we are going to do a little bit of book shopping. Now you guys know by now that when I travel, I always do a little bit of book shopping, because books are basically my souvenirs, and it's not going to be any different this time. You and I, we are going to go today to the world's biggest bookstore that is located here in New York City. I mean, where else? And apparently it's like, again, the world's biggest Barnes and Noble that exists. And I know that some of you may think, like, Zsuzsi, you are in New York City, go to a couple of indie bookstores. And I totally get it. I totally get why you would say that. But in Boston, and I know exactly how lucky I am to say this, at Boston being an incredibly bookish city, we have indie bookstores at every corner. We have the Harvard bookstore, we have the Beacon Hill bookstore, we have the Trident booksellers, we have Brookline Booksmith, just to mention a couple, because literally we have one at every corner. And again, I know exactly how lucky I am to say this. What we do not have is a Barnes and Noble. And we definitely don't have like the world's biggest Barnes and Noble in Boston. So I need to check it out. Like, naturally, I need to check it out. Now, I didn't plan a TBR. I don't know exactly what books I want. What I know is that I really want to check out the Barnes and Noble exclusive editions. I am after those books, and I have a feeling that we will find a couple. So, enough chatting. Now let's get ready and hit the road, and let's do some book shopping.
they have the same special edition that I have for Alcotar, but they also have Throne of Glass, the very first book. Well, it's a shame that I really do not like this one. The first book, no. Look at the romance section, guys. This here is all for historical romance. I am loving this place. Look at that. Look at the Tesseraire selection that they have. Look, they also have Lisa Kleypas. Devil in Winter, highly recommend. What do they have here? Big to Baby Kid, yes. Romancing the Duke, yes. The Duchess Deal, yes. The Governor's Game, yes. When the Scott ties the knot, yes. Do you want to start a scandal? Yes. Wow. Okay. Wow. Look at this cover, guys. So beautiful. It's giving me Harry Potter vibe. Jessa Hastings, or her publisher, really chose violence the morning when they woke up and decided to change the covers, the UK covers of the Magnolia Parks series. I mean, are we serious? It's really nice, guys, in person. If you like the book, I think it's worth to order it online. It's very nice, very good quality. I just read this. This is really good. This series is really good. Third book is coming out in December. Okay, so again, guys, it looks like that sports romance is truly a subgenre. They have insane amount of mysteries here and also here. No, absolutely not. I will never read a Lexi Ryan book again. Apparently this book, guys, is really good. You let me know if you read it and if you recommend it for me to try. Special edition for Emily Wilde. Oh my. I really like these covers. Wow. This book, guys, Fear the Flames. This has been on my radar for such a long time. I think that it's time to get it. This cover, oh my god, gorgeous. The Familiar, to me, it was a total fail. But you guys let me know if I should read Ninth House and Hellbent, because this was the only thing I ever read from Lee Bardugo. If you guys like this series, unfortunately I DNF Legends and Lattes, but if you guys like it, look at this beautiful special edition of Bookshops and Bone Dust. I mean, whoa. Guys, I moved to the mystery section because there was a lady right next to me at the fantasy romance section explaining Alcotar to her boyfriend, and I didn't want to disturb them. One of you recommended Red Rising by Pierce Brown to me, and I just wanted to flag you guys that I took a note. I know. It's on my list now. Trending now, customer favorite, Lady Macbeth by Eva Reid. Well, one of my most anticipated books for 2024 and one of the biggest disappointments. Spoiler alert! Voyage of the Damned. Oh my, again. I just love these special Barnes & Noble editions. Guys, I am a sucker for this. Look at this manga section. Very impressive. I really like this one, Go the Distance. I should read Part of Your World and also Mirror Mirror. I really like this one. This is sequel to Disney's Hercules, basically, and in this book we follow Megara. I read the first book of Sight, but not the sequels. I really want to read this one, guys. And also, they have the Nat Cassidy books, Mary and Nestlings. I also want to read both of these. What is this, guys? What is this? This is the newest Elif Shafak, guys. I am dying to read this. This is like historical. It's a combination of Mesopotamia and Victorian London. I need to read this one, and I also need to read this one. I heard that this is insanely scary.
Well guys, I am back from the bookstore and I just wanted to quickly show you the books that I got. So this is kind of like the mini book haul portion of the video. Now, first, the bookstore. Is it the world's largest bookstore in general or the biggest Barnes and Noble? I'm not sure, because I mean this place was definitely big, but is it really the world's biggest bookstore? Did I go to a wrong place? I'm not sure. I gotta check that. Okay, so Google tells me that this Barnes and Noble in New York City, this store is the world's largest bookstore by floor space. And yes, I was at the correct bookstore. And the biggest bookstore in the world, that is the largest by shelf space, it is in Portland, Oregon. So there you go. Now I know that the next destination must be Portland, Oregon. Oh wait, I just want to clear the air a little bit because I sound so critical of this bookstore. It was huge, guys. I was there for a good 3 hours, okay? So it's definitely a big bookstore, and obviously they have an amazing selection of books. And again, let me just quickly grab the books and show you what I got. Every single one of these books, they are all Barnes and Noble exclusive editions. So the very first book that I actually want to show you is this little tiny version of the Nutcracker. I wanted to get this book, one, because it's so gorgeous, and it was only $10, and I already booked the tickets for the Boston Ballet. They are performing the Nutcracker, obviously, like, you know, every single December, and I already booked my ticket. And guys, Whether you believe it or not, I have absolutely no idea about the story of the Nutcracker. I don't know the story. I'm not sure whether I should read this book before the ballet or I should let the ballet and the dancing and the music like all speak for themselves. I have no idea, but I don't know the story. But in the English culture, this is such a huge Christmas thing and I want to read it. And come on, I mean, $10 for this, it's basically a steal. The other two books that I also consider basically a steal, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Guys, this book has been on my TBR for such a long time. This is a dark gothic revenge story and that is exactly what I need. I feel that I'm going to love this book and love this story, and I never read anything by Emily Bronte or the Bronte sisters in general. And now that I am getting more and more confident with my English, I want to venture out a little bit when it comes to classics. This book is just gorgeous. Look at the back. Look at the gray sprayed edges. And also the end pages. Oh my god, this book is gorgeous. And it's not just that the book is beautiful, but also look at that font size. Like, this is one of those classics that you can actually read, and this book is insanely good quality. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but the pages are not glued, but they are like, it's actually incredibly well made. And this book and all of these like Barnes and Noble exclusive classics, they were $15. Hello. Of course I grabbed this book. And the other one that I grabbed from the exact same collection, that is Persuasion by Jane Eyre. Why did I get this book and not the other? Jane Eyre? Did I say Jane Eyre? Jane Austen. I'm sorry. I was also considering to get Jane Eyre. That is why I am confusing the two. Oh my god. Jane Austen. Why did I get this one and not the other ones? Because they also had Sense and Sensibility. English is not Englishing today. It is like kind of like the end of the day and I am really tired. Anyways, I got this one because one, it's pink, and again, it is a gorgeous book. Gorgeous end pages, gorgeous book, beautiful font size, like everything about this book is perfect. And I also have a little bit of connection when it comes to this book because Persuasion was the very first Jane Austen book that I ever read in my life, but I read it in Hungarian and not in the original English version. And that book was gifted to me by my dearest friend because this is her favorite Jane Austen. So I got the English version and I cannot wait to read it. Next. Oh my god, when I saw this book, I was like, are you kidding me? I am buying this book. Anne of Green Gables. Oh my god, guys, when I'm telling you that I am obsessed with this story, I am obsessed with this story. And I really like the TV show adaptation, not the new one, but the old one, the one from the 80s. I think I'm going to look it up and put it on the screen. Oh my god, I just absolutely love that TV show adaptation. And let me just open this one. I want to open this book with you guys. It is gorgeous. It is a leather book, and this one was again $15. I mean, are you kidding me? Beautiful gold sprayed edges. And if I can open this book, then I can show you how the inside looks like. I mean, I don't know how the inside looks like, so let's just find it out together. Kind of like unboxing this little book. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. Can you guys tell how gorgeous it is? Look at the back. Like anything that's got gold foiling and gold sprayed edges, that is like my... Oh, it's blue, yellow and blue. Oh my god. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it's there. I love it. I love it. I really want to read this series, and I definitely want to read this book in December or till the end of this year. Honestly, like I cannot wait to pick up any of these books. I kind of really want to start Wuthering Heights, like basically right now. I'm not going to do that, but oh my god, I am so excited about every single one of these books. And the last book that I picked up, that's not a classic, it's a new fiction, fantasy fiction from a debut author, and that is Voyage of the Damned. Why did I get this book, you may ask? Well, first of all, gorgeous. Can we just again look at those frayed edges? Look at the end pages. I didn't even see this. Look at that fish. Silver. Is it silver or gold? I think it's silver. Oh my god. Gorgeous book. Oh my god. So gorgeous. Alright, why did I pick up this book? Lately, I've been into, and I don't know how this is going to sound, but I've been into the stories of shipwrecks and ships that sunk, and specifically I have like a very morbid fascination with the Titanic and what happened with the Titanic or to the Titanic. And I've been binge watching the videos of this YouTube creator called Ocean Liner Designs. He's got fantastic videos. I don't know why I am into ships, because I would never get on a ship. The moment you see me on a ship, you know that something is wrong. I am not there by my own free will, okay? So get me out. I am not getting on a ship. The ocean, the open ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, it terrifies me. I would never get on a ship. I don't get on a boat. I don't get on a ferry, for God's sake. But the videos, especially the videos of this creator, I am enjoying so much. So when I saw this book, I was like, okay, I am getting this. This is basically the way it's described. It's an Agatha Christie murder mystery in a fantasy world, and it happens on a ship. That's why it is called Voyage of the Damned. And basically, when I read this, I was like, you are coming home with me. This is how the author starts the book. For everyone who has ever entered a room and felt they did not belong. I needed this in my life. Oh my god, what is happening to me? What is happening to me? I am really into these special editions now. And again, look at those sprayed edges and this ombre sprayed edges. Oh my god. Well, okay, these are the 5 books that I got, guys, and I did a little bit of damage to my wallet, but again, I feel like when it comes to these bound, leather bound, I believe, classics for $15, I personally consider it a steal, and I have very high hopes when it comes to this fantasy book, and I want to read every single one of them this year. Well, now I need to rest a little bit, guys, because I am so insanely tired. I love walking. I love walking, and I adore New York City, but I'm tired. It's a tiring city. So I'm gonna go take a rest, and then we continue this video.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
you can find little free libraries even in New York. Well, unfortunately, this one is empty. I feel so bad. I didn't bring any books. I didn't have the space. Otherwise, I would have filled this up. Oh, damn, next time. Now, I definitely have to come back here. Well, guys, here is another one. And this is looking a little bit rough. What's in here? Oh, wow, a lot of traveling books. Nicaragua, Amsterdam. The Dog's Purpose? Oh, yeah. Boston. Oh, well, hey-o. Chicago. A Dog's Purpose, again. And then something, again, I'm guessing in French, because this is in French, right? I mean, what do I know? I don't know. Oh, well. All right. This was the second one.
Guys, I just wanted to pop in with a very quick update because I'm changing books for now, because I made a little bit of progress with One for My Enemy. I'm now like page 105 because I just finished part 2, act 16, and I am not really vibing with this book. I don't think it's me. The problem is that so far I'm not really liking anything about this book. I don't understand how and why this book takes place in New York City, because in my head, because of all the Russian names and again because of all these Russian folklore elements, I just keep thinking that the place for this book is St. Petersburg. Doesn't make absolutely any sense. The plot, there is none. I don't like any of the characters. I don't like any of the romances or any of the relationships, really. And I don't understand the world. I don't think that there should be an excessive world building because it takes place in like magical modern Manhattan, but what's the magic? But other than like there's magic, I don't understand anything else. Like, how does the magic work? I don't get it. So there's nothing I get in this book for now. So I decided that I want to change to a romance book because I'm also kind of in the romance mood, and I am changing to Emma of 83rd Street. And this is supposed to be, again, we have a theme here, a modern day retelling of Emma taking place in Manhattan. Tomorrow I will have a walkie day, so I think that this audiobook will accompany me. That's all I wanted to say. I'm not sure whether you guys saw me, but you definitely heard me. So see you in the next update. Well, guys, this is now 2 days later, a little bit more than 2 days later, and I am here to give you my last reading check-in from New York City because unfortunately I am leaving this morning. I am excited to go home, but also I'm a little bit sad that I am already leaving New York City. Anyways, hopefully soon I will be back. So, the book, because I did finish Emma of 83rd Street. If you've been around for a while, then you know that I don't like, unfortunately, the original work. When I bought Emma and when I started reading Emma, I thought that it was going to be my favorite Jane Austen masterpiece like ever, but it didn't happen. I didn't like it at all. It was a chore to read it, so I decided to pick up this book like months ago. I bought the physical copy for this book just to, try it again. And I have to say that I am very happy with the reading experience of this book. As I said in my previous check-in, this book is basically just a modern day retelling of Emma, and it is taking place in New York City. And honestly, that is exactly that the authors did. They just translated the entire work into New York City, taking place on the Upper East Side. Emma, her father, Mr. Woodhouse, and Mr. Knightley, everybody is just like, you know, rich and living, doing business on the Upper East Side. Well, probably the authors thought that the modern day Upper East Siders would be the equivalent of the British posh people or aristocracy in the 18th century, 18th, 19th century. I don't know, but we get a lot of designer clothes, we get a lot of different hairstyles and posh food in this book, that's for sure. Now you guys let me know what you think of these type of retellings, because sometimes they do rub me the wrong way because I feel that they are just riding the excellence of the original story. I don't even like when publishing houses, publishing companies compare their books to others, right? How many times have we heard that for the lovers of Sarah J. Maas, or for the lovers of A Court and Roses, or whatever is like, you know, famous at the time? And yeah, it usually rubs me the wrong way, but I definitely want to hear your thoughts about it. Now, I knew all of this when I picked this book up, so why am I complaining? Guys, I must say, even though considering everything that I just said, that I like this book a lot more than the original work. And actually it got nothing to do with New York City. Do I appreciate it? Yes, but it had nothing to do with New York City. It was about the character work and the fact that in this book, all the secondary characters who didn't really have a story, who didn't really have a voice in the original work, they were fleshed out in this book. There were a lot of characters in this book. At the end of the day, honestly, this was easy, this was fun, this was entertaining, and the slow burn. It's the slow burn. The slow burn gets me every single time. Now, if you are somebody who liked Emma, the original work, then maybe give this one a try, because the plot, the characters, and the romance and everything is exactly the same, just a couple of hundreds of years later. And if you are somebody who didn't like Emma, then again, pick this book up, because it's more like an updated version of the original work. Maybe you will like it. Now, I think that there is a second book in the series, because it is a series called For the Love of Austen, and that is Elizabeth of East Hampton, and it is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. Pride and Prejudice being my absolutely favorite book from Jane Austen, and it is one of my all-time favorites. I'm not sure that I will pick this book up, because do I need to see, I don't know, like Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy surfing? Do I need that in my life? I'm not sure. Oh well, this was Emma of 83rd Street. I ultimately count it as a success. Now, as for One for My Enemy, I am still on page like 104, 105. I have not really read that book in the past couple of days. That book and I were not vibing, but it is in my bag, it is in my hand luggage, because I have a good like 4 or 5 hours long journey back home to Boston, and I think that I can finish that book on the train ride home. At least that's the plan. So next time when I see you guys, I will be back in Boston when I give you my last reading check-in. Well guys, I am back to Boston. And I did finish this book yesterday on the train ride home, right? And I am very happy to say that probably this book saved Olivia Blake in my eyes as a writer. Probably I will eventually pick up another book from her. Now, Is this the best book I read this year? No. Is this the best book I read this month? No, it's not even the best book I read this week, but it's a book. It's a book I read, I finished, I didn't DNF it, and I think that's a good thing. Though honestly, I also finished Atlas 6, and I also finished Alone with You in the Ether, and I don't like those books. I don't remember anything in those books, do I? No, not really. There was no point in reading this book in New York City, because although it takes place in New York City and every now and then we hear about a very famous New York City location, like for example a very famous bridge, like, you know, it's in there, but other than that it could have been set anywhere. And I know that I said it in an earlier update that in my head this book took place in Russia. It has absolutely nothing to do with New York City. But anyways, there was not really world building, and it's not just about New York City, but also about the fact that this is supposed to be a fantasy book. Even if it is just light fantasy, it is still a fantasy book, and I still don't understand the fantasy elements of this book, and I still don't understand the magic. In the first half of the book, I didn't understand the magic at all. I'm like, what is happening? Okay, there's magic, but what do we do with the magic? And then in the second half of the book, the magic was more important, but still, I don't understand the magic system that the author used in the book. I can tell you that there was magic, but what that magic did and what were the limitations, I don't know. All I know is that everything was possible in this book because of magic. It is so hard for me to say anything about the plot of this book, not only because it is a retelling, and if you read Romeo and Juliet, or if you just know the story of Romeo and Juliet, then you know, you can guess where this story is going, but also because if you ask me what was the plot of this book and what was the point of this book, what was the message in this book, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I cannot tell you that, and maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay. Maybe sometimes all we need is a drama, but like a 400 plus, 425, whatever. Yeah, 425 pages long drama. Now, this book was also 400 plus pages long because there was so much talking in this book. Like talking, but no showing. Like specifically when it comes to Koschei's character, because everybody is so afraid of him, so you know that he's gonna be like some kind of evil big guy, and then we never see him doing anything bad, and I'm just like, is it just your reputation, dude, or are you actually a villain? Because you don't feel like a villain to me. And this is really bringing us to the characters, because you guys know that I love characters in this book because I am a character-driven reader. I love when we have tons of characters, and I love a good character work, character development, character arc, and I don't have problem with characters who are not good characters. You know, I don't have a problem rooting for villains or rooting for morally gray characters. It's not a problem for me. But in this book, unfortunately, the author didn't make me care for the characters. It's a long-ass book. Just pick one character, okay? Just pick one character and make me care for at least one character. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. And there were some characters who only existed in their relationship, and I really did not like the relationships in this book. Spoiler alert, but there are two relationships in this book, but one is in the past, and it ended. It's not a spoiler, like really, it's like in the first chapter, it's pretty clear. And it ended, and I couldn't really care for it. And then the new relationship that is introduced, that's got nothing to do with love and care. It's like, you know, an Insta love, and it was all about lust. It was not about love. And I, as a person, I cannot care for those kind of relationships. I read about them, I'm like, okay, but ultimately I will not root for the characters, and I will not root for that type of relationship. So unfortunately, for me, it didn't work. I was also really surprised that we got 2 relationships in the book, because these witch families are rivals. Like, they basically cannot stand each other. And then we get 2 fated pairs from the same families. Like, how does that work? I don't know. But it's also a fantasy book, you know, so I just have to suspend my disbelief, I guess. But I was like, wait, what's the point? But I feel like that's the question I often ask reading this book. Like, what's the point? What's the point? I just don't see the point in this book. And I read a comment under a YouTube video, and somebody said that this book originally, like allegedly, this book was a short story that Olivia Blake decided to publish in a long form. And honestly, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's how this book felt, because there was absolutely no need for this book to be 400 pages. 100 pages, 150 pages, make it into a little fantasy novella, and I think that I would have had a great opinion about this book. But the other, like, 300 pages, that was just like talking. The reason why I finished this book, and the one thing that truly saved this book for me, was the quality of the writing. Because regardless what I think of Olivia Blake's books, because I think that I just like somehow it just doesn't work, somehow I just cannot really connect with her books. The premise is always so intriguing, it just sounds so good, but then somehow we just don't vibe. But the one thing that I will always give her is the quality of her writing. I cannot criticize that, and I will not criticize that. This book was just a beautiful book inside and out to read, and I give her that. The writing was not as pretentious as in Atlas 6, though when it comes to Dark Academia, I feel like it's very easy to write all these pretentious books, and it was not like that. And the writing was also not like Alone with You in the Ether, where the writing was actually driving me insane. I'm like, I don't understand. No, out of the 3 books, this is the one that I like the most. And if it comes to Olivia Blake, though I don't feel qualified, and I don't think that I am the best person to give anybody Olivia Blake recommendations, but this is the book probably that I would read from her, that I would recommend, I should say, from her. Well guys, with this book done and dusted, we have reached the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Hit share, like, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. I have a lot of fun bookish videos coming up. The next one that I am uploading will be probably by Halloween vlog. I went to Salem, and of course I took you guys with me, and I also read a couple of witchy new releases. I read Lady Macbeth, I read the new Taking Fisher book, I also read a new releases witchy romance, and all of those books will be included in that vlog. So if it is something that sounds good to you, then definitely stay tuned, because yeah, I think that that vlog is getting uploaded next. Alright guys, now I'm gonna let you go, and I see you soon in my next video. Bye!
It is like honestly so comfortable to sit here because I am sitting on a pillow. You guys are on top of the AC, so I needed to put basically a pillow underneath my bum. Otherwise, you know, I have a little bit of a height issue, so I would be just like this. All you would see is basically my head.